Hello everyone, my name is Victoria and I'm a public relations major here at Biola University. And today I will be talking about public relations, perceptions, misconceptions, and shattering deception of women in leadership. In every job that must be done, there is an element of fun. You find the fun and snap, the job's a game. Mary Poppins, with her whimsical yet very focused work ethic, is a stellar Disney example of what it means to be an empowering female lead. In the very popular film, it was their job to capture that she was likable, sensible yet strict, but definitely fun. Much like Mary Poppins, I try to have a very clear schedule and plan for the day. While she's a nanny to the children, she's always very intentional about everything that she does. She was a wholly independent individual who knew her own worth. She demanded respect at her job and stood up to her bosses from the get-go. She believes in tough love with her kids and that you can be firm but sweet at the same time. She also knew exactly how much nonsense she ought to take from the men in her life. Mary Poppins was classy and practically perfect in every way. We as public relations professionals should approach all of our executives with the same decorum that Mary Poppins offered to the men in her life. Though I cannot fly away on a broom like she can, or fly away on an umbrella like she can, not a broom, that's, yeah, or smell supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, my approach to work and leadership is similar to Mary Poppins. Alike, in the Planck Center for Leadership's public relations definition, it states, excellent leadership in public relations is a dynamic process that encompasses a complex mix of individual skills and personal attributes, values, and behaviors that consistently produces ethical and effective communication practice. Such practice fuels and guides successful communication teams, helps organizations achieve their goals, and legitimizes organizations in society. Today, I will cover some of the ways PR practitioners can move forward and challenge public relations misconceptions through education, experience, and success. Personally, public relations is defined by my education here at Biola University, my past experiences with internships, and my success or my future success as a leader in the industry. First, I'm going to touch on education. My PR classes that educated me on ethics helped build a framework for me. Jay Grunage, the public relations, says that public relations professionals are held to even higher standards of ethics and social values required among other professions. The underlying theme is that education and training will develop in professionals an internal moral compass, which will guide them towards ethical choices that go beyond simple accommodations and just beyond the classroom in general. Corporate citizenship and social responsibility are driven by our values, which are usually in tune with prevailing social, cultural, political, economic, and regulatory norms in the communication environment as a whole. Ethics are the essential piece of maintaining trustworthy relationships, and these are pivotal traits of being a leader. Second, I want to talk about my past experiences. My internship experience in the television industry taught me so much. I initially thought it would be such a glamorous career, but boy was I wrong. I thought it was going to be all about the dresses and the heels, but those preconceived notions proved for me to be incorrect. Working long hours without seeing the benefit of advancing my career and growing in this direct facet of the industry was actually very challenging. Though I really did love a lot of the experiences that I was able to have, all my superiors were actually men, and there were no women in leadership at this particular organization. This in turn made me feel as if I did not have a long future with this organization. I learned many valuable skills that I've carried with me to my current internship, and furthermore, I'll continue to carry on with my postgraduate career in entertainment public relations. Next, I want to talk about my current internship at a tech and entertainment company. And these following list of women, or list of leaders, are actually held by women. I'll just name a few of them. The Director of Publicity, Chief Marketing Officer, Director of Domestic Marketing, Vice President and Head of Global Events, Vice President and Head of Corporate Communications, and many of the supporting assistants, coordinators, and managers are all women. And this brings me into my third point, my future, and my success as a future leader in the industry. That list of empowering women at my current company has directly impacted my worldview of public relations in the entertainment industry. I am personally empowered because I have the opportunity to be in these roles in the future. Whether I stay with this company or move on to a new endeavor, my time at this organization has shown me that it is possible to become a successful woman in entertainment public relations. Next, I want to talk about a call to action for women and what you can do as a female leader in public relations. In the Journal of Public Relations Research, the article titled Power, Control, or Empowerment, How Women Public Relations Practitioners Make Meaning of Power, talks about how women in public relations have achieved critical mass leadership roles in the profession, but this assumes that women actually have power. But despite this increasing feminization of public relations field, women public relations practitioners continue to lack power. Women in public relations continue to experience a glass ceiling, things such as receiving lower pay and lack organizational forms of power, employee support, and inclusion in business networks. The three basic ways for women to gain leadership are influence, skills, and organizational culture. First, I want to talk about influence. This means to gain and enact power, practitioners must exert influences. This means to shape decisions or actions within an organization. Second is skills. Acquiring a skill set and professional experiences can also increase the power of public relations practitioners. And third is organizational culture. Organizational culture and workplace interactions may affect public relations practitioner power. And this means that we need support or something called culture for communications by top management and equal opportunities for practitioners of diverse ethnic, cultural, and racial backgrounds. So encompassing all of this, it means that public relations practitioners may seek to enhance your influence by acquiring knowledge and information, fostering professional workplace relationships, and joining professional networks. Joining networks like PRSSA, the Public Relations Student Society of America, is something I've had the pleasure of being in, and the Public Relations Society of America, the parent chapter, which I hope to be in very soon. And these both organizations influence public relations leaders. Now more than ever, according to the Public Relations Journal article, Millennials in Public Relations Leadership in the 21st Century, CEOs of organizations are turning to their chief communications officers for leadership in understanding and responding to effective organizational practices. This complete shift has the potential to transform our entire industry and open up new meaningful responsibilities for people like us in creating exciting new career paths for communications professionals. These trends directly contribute to the opportunity we as Generation X and Millennials have to significantly change the nature of public relations profession, as well as all of the leadership within it. As a future leader within the PR industry, breaking stereotypes and striving for success will contribute to the kingdom of God and will continue to shape my worldview. Since I started my first day here at Biola University in August of 2012, I knew that my college experience was going to be different and it was going to be special. That feeling when I had that really good vibe or something, it just happened simultaneously for me as I first stepped onto this campus. Even more than that, I knew since the moment I walked onto this campus that I wanted to be a PR major. Almost immediately after actually meeting Dr. Kim for the first time on Admitted Students Day, I knew where I wanted to be and that God had truly led me here. She taught me how to be a true leader and gave me the space to actually be one. Every relationship, every pivotal life lesson led me to this university. As I strive to be successful in everything I accomplish, God is there every step of my calling. God has called me to communicate and build relationships with believers and non-believers alike. In the Journal of Public Relations Quarterly, the article Jesus the Communicator has stuck with me since I used it as a resource in my public relations management course. the key points that stood out to me was Jesus was able to connect to people through storytelling, or what we call as parables. Jesus used parables to bridge the gap between his audience and what they already accepted and what he was trying to persuade them to accept. Jesus, when speaking in parables, used symbols such as shepherds and sheep. And he did this so that his audience could relate and understand the deeper meaning of the gospel instead of just flat out saying the intended outcome. Again, we see in Matthew chapter 12 when Jesus' disciples questioned him. He replied that they do not understand or listen like they understand the word of God. In accordance, Jesus taught us that the truth is more important than winning a popularity contest. Telling the whole truth instead of half-truths was what he was going for. Again, after the death of Jesus, Paul was appointed to God to further the gospel by communicating to multiple audiences through his letters and through his speeches. And specifically in his letter to Corinth in Greece, he stylized his message to be simple, direct, and personal, which then furthered in 1 Corinthians that stressed to the community for us to be more mindful communicators. Jesus and Paul all have the furthermost epistemological advancement, the gospel, to communicate to their audience truth, change, and communication. Truth, change, and communication are concepts at Biola University that I learned as well as throughout my 22 years of life. A worldview is something that Rick Warren did a quote on, and I'd love to read it for you guys right now. And it states, "Our worldview is shaped by the beliefs that you build your life on. It's how you view everything in life, including God, yourself, other people, Satan, life, death, the future, suffering, relationships, money, and everything you think that life is. Moreover, my worldview is shaped by my experiences and my life lived. Building mutually beneficial relationships and knowing that each person has an individual worldview that shapes them is important to understand if I'm someone to claim that I'm an advocate for people in communications, as well as being a woman in public relations and wanting to be in leadership." Here are some closing thoughts that I had for you all today. Public relations will continue to be defined by many thought leaders and scholars as it has been expressed throughout history. The profession strives to grow societal leaders and cultivate diversity among organizations and their publics. By promoting change and keeping to authentic relationships and trustworthiness are key concepts. This profession is outlined for me as a calling through Christ. It builds upon the idea to enhance public relations for women as leaders, and as a child of God, I am here to reflect His image and bring light in the dark places. Here are 4 of the key takeaways that I hope you guys bring with you today. The first, as public relations professionals, we should all approach our executives with the decorum that Mary Poppins offered to the men in her life. Second, education plus experience equals a successful future. My future was shaped by my PR classes, my teaching of ethics, my internships experiences, mimicking women in leadership, and maintaining trustworthy relationships. Number 3 is a call to action for all you women out there, and how to define leadership. You gain leadership by influence, skills, and organizational culture. We have the power to help shift the nature of public relations just by the way we are as emerging leaders. And be a communicator like Jesus and Paul. Being simple, direct, personal, trustworthy can evoke change. And 4th, own up to your own worldview. I strive to be an honest advocate for public relations in the entertainment industry, and I will use the knowledge that I have learned at Biola University to continue to be kind, understanding, and help other women feel empowered in their own careers. I'd like to now open it up for any questions that you have. Thank you all for your time.